It's not the animals, it can only be one thing. The Metrex Trophy for the world's strongest man to be won here today at the Victoria Falls in Zambia. Until Dr. David Livingstone, a self-confessed caber-tossing fanatic, got here in 1855 and named the falls after the Queen, they were known as Mosi Ayatunya, the smoke that roars, perfectly describing the millions of tons of water cascading into the river beneath. The mighty Zambezi, and mighty is the word for the Herculean tasks that face our finalists. £4,000 of human beef doing battle over 7 events, at the end of which only one of these 10 will be able to call themselves the world's strongest man. Is this the hardest final that you've ever been involved in?
Yeah, it's a really hard final because it's, how can I say, many guys are very good on those events we're going to do now. So I think it's going to be a very high standard.
I think the winner will be Sven Carlsen.
Phil, it's very good shape, and Magnus and Hugo and Sven.
Sven, Magnus, Yanni, Hugo.
It could be anyone. Yanni, Sven, Magnus.
Oh, I'm thinking that Sven Carlsen is winning.
I am the favorite, and I like that. It makes them all worried about me.
$390 kilograms of rubber just to kick things off. Now, the scoring system being what it is, with 10 for a win down to 1 for last place, it means that if you get off to a bad start, then it's very hard to make up lost ground later on. And only once in the past 8 years has the overall champion been outside the first 3 in this opening event. What they have to do is flip this huge tyre down the second half of the course, because in the first half there's been the small matter of carrying this massive great yoke, all 365 kilograms of it. Nothing like making things easy to start with. Two heats of 5 in this first event, described by Paul Dickinson.
What a moment for these 5 men. Absolutely blistering conditions, well over 40 degrees. but that's not half as bad as the intensity of the competition here. Martin Muir of Germany. A marvellous moment for him to even make it through to the final, as it is for Jaroslav Demek of Poland. Mr. Universe in every sense. The giant Hugo Girard of Canada, one of the heaviest men in the final. Sven Karlsson, who finished second last year and wants the crown of this man, the defending champion, Jani Virtanen. The first part of the competition, they've got to carry this giant yoke. It's a bar on top of two enormous lorry engines weighing 365 kilos. The fastest time wins. And then when they drop it, it's onto the big tyre. Another object, over 300 kilos, and Karlsson is flying. Hugo Girard is going well. The defending champion, the reigning champion, Jani Virtanen, now beginning to catch. Karlsson just ahead, then Virtanen. On the far side, Demek's not going too badly. He's the smallest man in this first event. Karlsson still ahead, but Virtanen is definitely catching. It's neck and neck between Finland and Norway. Scandinavia keep on reproducing these incredible strongmen. Karlsson just gets it, just ahead of Virtanen. Girard will finish just behind those two. And then it's a battle for the minor positions. But Karlsson has done it. He's taken Jani Virtanen's scalp at the very first attempt. Still one more heat to go, but what a cracking start by the Norwegian.
Still 5 guys to go, but at least I've beaten 4 of them now. I wasn't pleased, but it's okay, I think.
And the time that all these guys have to beat, 40.75 seconds by Sven Karlsson. On the far side, Andrew Rains, the only Briton through to the final. Barnsley's finest. A tough moment for him. He's drawn next.
States of America, Phil Pfister. In lane 3, representing Holland, Wout Zylstra. In lane 4, representing Finland, Juha Räsänen.
Juha Räsänen, one of 2 Finns through to this final, the new name in World's Strongest Man. And then Magnus Samuelsson, the former champion who won back in 1998. 2 incredibly fast times by Karlsson and Virtanen, 40.75 and 40.81. There is a suggestion that Magnus Samuelsson got a bit of a false start there. On the far side, Phil Pfister. Well, he put it down too soon. I was going to say he was in the lead, but now it's Samuelsson. A very fast time he's got to follow, but the Swede is going well. Phil Pfister, he had 2 bites of the cherry. He put the weight down too early. He's falling back now, as is Andrew Rains. He's in all sorts of problems as the Briton. Keep your eye on the clock. One more flip should do it for Magnus Samuelsson. It's going to be very close. It's just inside. Oh, magnificent. 0.12 of a second, 40.63 ahead of Karlsson, and Virtanen will finish in 3rd place. But the Swede has done it. It's been a Scandinavian clean sweep. Unbelievable. And Phil Pfister will be absolutely disgusted with himself. He made a huge error there, and that has cost him dearly. Andrew Rains is way out of it, in last place. A great start, though, for Magnus Samuelsson. Brilliant.
It's not really one of my favorite ones. Sven is very quick in this event. I've seen him over the years, always scoring this one. So if I can beat him in this one, I'm probably pretty good shape myself.
So Sweden, Norway and Finland occupying the top 3 spots. A poor result for Andrew Rains, a desperate one for Phil Pfister.
This and the squat I anticipate as being my worst events. I didn't anticipate it going this bad in the first event, but I can accept that, you know. All the 10 finalists are real champions, and you've got to be proud of doing your best anytime. So did my best. Sometimes your best can include mistakes.
Wherever you look on the banks of the mighty Zambezi, wildlife of every shape and size. And what better way to view it than for one of these fantastic game trucks. Now, if we were trying to find the world's strongest rhino, we get the competitors to tip this thing over. But, as we're only dealing with men, we thought we'd get them to lift it up. This presumably is your banker bet.
I need this one. It's a good event for me, so hopefully I can get back on track.
Why are you good at this?
Well, if you look at most of the other guys, they've got long, skinny legs for running events, and you just have to take a look at mine.
Long and skinny, they're not. Andrew Rains comes out strapped up round his knees. He's got one of these super suits on as well, which takes the pressure a little bit off the back. Well, he didn't quite describe himself as the perfect squat machine, but I reckon he is. This truck weighs 2 tons. The effective weight on his shoulders, around about 700 pounds or thereabouts. There we go, single repetition, and he's on his way. He really does need to do well here. It's early days, of course, in the final, but he is a former powerlifting champion. He then went on to become a champion in bodybuilding. He wants to become a champion in Highland Games as well as strongman, and he's even talked about going on to do some wrestling as well. There's no end to this guy's competitiveness. Great performance so far for Andrew, 6 reps. The pressure on those knees is unbearable. 7, terrific stuff. There's no such thing as a banker in World's Strongest Man. The guys are too good for that. The competitiveness out there is absolutely phenomenal. But in the squat, this guy at the moment is king. That is 9 repetitions. He wants one more. He's run out of time. He got 10, but it won't be counted. And that is so much better. Well done, Andrew Rains. Brilliant. Tough act to follow, that's for sure.
Well done, how was that?
Very heavy. Light at the top, light in the middle, and just so heavy at the bottom. The worst thing about it was you had to put so much force to get out of the bottom, maybe 4 inches, that it felt like you were going to pass out. And in this heat, but pleased with that.
And he should have been. Just to prove how tough it was, Dimmek could only do 1. But that wasn't bad, because Rasmussen couldn't do any. And he wasn't alone. Wout Zylstra of the Netherlands couldn't manage one either. And neither could the big talking American Phil Pfister.
A chance now for Martin Moore of Germany. Like Andrew Rains, a former powerlifting champion, where the squat is all part of the competition. So, does he get 1? Yes, he does. Now, he's over 6 feet tall, so I suppose you could say at a disadvantage. Andrew Rains only 5'6". Enormous legs. Martin Moore's legs actually look pretty skinny in comparison, but he's very strong. Chasing 9 lifts. The back is going to hurt there. The top of the shoulders, due to the pressure pushing down on them of this giant truck. The knees as well. That's why they're heavily wrapped. Going for number 6. Come on, squeeze it out. Well, he's closing in on Andrew Rains. 3 more to go to draw level. Oh my goodness, look at this. The pressure that's built up. He'll breathe out on the way up. Blood is absolutely pouring out of his nose. He finishes on 6. That's the second best we've seen so far. Another good performance from Martin Moore.
Well, we saw that Phil Pfister scored 0, and maybe the big tall guys won't do very well, so that you might get a good score here.
I hope I came 2nd or 3rd. Only Svent, I think, can beat me now, not the other guys. And 3rd is not a bad place.
Hugo Girard, he wasn't mentioned, was he? But Hugo, strongest man in Canada for quite a few years, a former World's Strongest Man finalist. and one of the heaviest men in the final. He weighs about 24.5 stones, 62 inches around the chest, and that first one was easy. Breathe out on the way up and in on the way down. That's the way to do it. He's actually giving that frame a little bit of a bounce, but he's got to go a long way down to achieve that. Down. The thighs will be parallel to the ground when he's in the deep squat position. This is a good performance by Girard. 5 repetitions, one more to match Martin Muir, and he's got that. Now he's going to chase Andrew. Incredible belts around their midriff. Coming out to 8, can he squeeze out one more? If he can, the points will be shared. If he does one more, he goes into the lead. He's got it. That is number 9. He's just actually checking around to get the score. Can he do 10? No, he can't. So Andrew Rains is still in first place, but this time he's got somebody with him. Hugo Girard of Canada. Tremendous effort.
After the first couple of ones, looks pretty cool. I knew what to expect. I trained very hard for that event, and the power event always goes for me. Hopefully, did 9 reps, but that 10 one, I wanted it bad, but I had to rush on the last one because of the time limit. But that's okay. That's a good number.
Not a bad number, is it? 9 reps the target now for the defending world's strongest man, Jani Virtanen. Now, he's a tall man. He's got relatively skinny legs. They're actually massive legs, but in terms of Andrew Rains, they're pretty skinny. So what can he get out of this one? A very calculated squat there, squeezes one out, he's on his way. He's scored points. Better than Zylstra, better than Räsänen, his teammate, and better than Phil Pfister. This is tough. He's got 2. Referee Douglas Edmonds shouting out the number of reps. So slow and controlled, but that's important. If you go down too quickly, you're going to be dead and buried. No doubt about that. He's got a long way to go before he catches Martin Muir of Germany, who's in 3rd place behind Andrew Rains and Hugo Girard. He gets number 4. Can he go 5? No, he doesn't even bother trying. That will be enough. He scored well in the first event. He's going to score pretty well here too.
For a very tall man, 4 is good, yes?
Yes, very good.
You were worried about that event?
Of course. This is my not so good events. But now I'm very happy.
Sven Karlsson all wrapped up, all covered up and ready to go. It's getting hotter here. It really is. He's got the super suit on, he's got a tracksuit on, he's got about 5 yards of knee wraps on as well. But he's on his way and on number 2. He said in the heats that this will be his year. He's finished 3rd 2 years ago. He finished runner-up last year to Jani Virtanen, and he feels that he's done enough training, enough preparation, and mentally he's right to win it. 2nd place in the first event. Now he goes past Martin Muir, so he's scoring well again. Andrew Rains is in the lead together with Hugo Girard, but Karlsson has equalled that. One more will do it. Still Magnus Samuelsson to come. It's enough, he says. Thank you very much. Goodbye. He's not going to do one more, surely. He's not sure. That's the problem. He's asking for clarification on the score, but he did do 10. The worst he could do now is finish 2nd once again. He really wasn't sure that time. Absolutely unbelievable, but that is the top score so far.
Viking power.
Viking power at its best.
Did you have any doubts you could do 10?
No. No way.
Because everybody else has been struggling so much with it. So what is it that meant you could do it that they couldn't?
Because of this, I think they are one of the strongest in the world. My legs.
the Viking legs.
You have the world's strongest thighs.
I hope so. Just the Swede doesn't do anything funny here now, but I don't think so, hardly.
So you're going to be the leader going into the second day?
I would think so.
And how do you feel about everything generally at the moment? Pretty good?
Hallelujah. Welcome to another beautiful day in Zambia.
Every day so far has been a beautiful one in Zambia, but I wonder if this is going to be good for Magnus Samuelsson. Sven Karlsson doesn't seem to think so. He's certainly tall. That is a disadvantage. We know that now. 6'5" plus. Winner of the first event and a former champion. A crown Sven Karlsson has never won. Always struggling even with the first rep. He can't do it. Magnus Samuelsson finishes equal last. That has made a massive difference in terms of points. And Karlsson absolutely right. He goes into the next event as the overall leader by some margin.
Are you a bit depressed now?
Nah, not really. I know it. So it pretty much went as I expected. But just one event out of 7. So saying that, I mean, I felt they were pretty close to coming up with the first with 1 rep, and that would have given me a few more points. But that's life.
So the points at the bottom had to be shared equally between the 4 competitors who couldn't manage 1 single repetition. But at the other end, what a result for Sven Karlsson. The Norwegian has a 3.5 point cushion after just the first 2 events. Well, the competition is hot, and in the glorious garden of the Royal Livingston Hotel on the banks of the Zambezi, so's the weather. It's 40 degrees and rising. Over the years, certain events have defined World's Strongest Man, and this is one of them. The Farmer's Walk. 2 cylinders, 2 giant cylinders, 125 kilograms each, to be carried down a course. 25 metres there, 25 metres back, and then 25 metres there again. It's just about the equivalent of carrying 1 Phil Pfister under each arm for 75 metres. Now you've got big hands, strong back, good endurance. So where does this sort of sit in the general order of events that are good for you?
Hopefully this is an ace, but you know, a lot of guys are very fast. I'm glad they have a decent distance here, so it is a challenge for grip with the guys. If the course is too short and too quick, then almost everyone can hold it. It's almost sort of a lightweight for some of us, so it's really all about speed here.
Well, what a poor start it's been for Phil Pfister on the far side, along with Juha Räsänen. Pfister so dominant in his heat. Here we go. It's got to be fast, and Phil Pfister is absolutely sprinting away. Watch the clock. This is going to be the standard that everybody else has to follow. The turn is difficult. It's not the weight of those cylinders, it's the fact they're about 5 feet long. It makes turning difficult. 1 more length to go for Phil Pfister. The American is flying. He's all over the place at the moment. Juha Räsänen turns round slowly, but Phil Pfister is coming away. Absolutely superb. 32.22 for the American, and Räsänen will finish. Oh, he's dropped them too early. That was either exhaustion or he didn't understand where he had to finish. Räsänen will finish eventually, but he lost about 10 seconds there. 49.77.
Did it ever enter your mind you might not make it to the end?
No, not really. There at the last 10 meters, yeah. It did cross my mind for an instant, but I knew that there was no way I was going to let that happen. I got too much grip strength for that. But it was not quite as smooth and quick as I hoped it would be. Hopefully, none of the other guys end up being any quicker.
Well, Andrew Rains couldn't actually finish the course, 43.75 when he put them down. Van Zylstra did get to the end. His time was 41.49 seconds. Jaroslav Dimek was outside that though, 57.50 for the pole. And Martin Muir, surprisingly, the German couldn't reach the end of the course.
So, Phil Pfister still in pole position with that magnificent time of 32.22. Two champions here. Samuelsson nearest the camera, Virtanen on the far side. Samuelsson can't wait to get away. Here we go, and in fact Virtanen is faster away. This is phenomenal by the Finn. He's not world's strongest man for nothing. Samuelsson has got a lot to prove after the squad event where he performed poorly, but that was expected. He's going very wide. He's come off the rubber tracking there. Virtanen straight as a die. It's a little bit slower than Phil Pfister's turn for the last lap, and Samuelsson's got it all to do. Virtanen, providing he doesn't drop it, well, he's not going to beat Phil Pfister, but it's going to go into second place. He's gone down, though. Magnus Samuelsson closing. Virtanen finishes. Samuelsson there. Oh, what drama. Virtanen 38.5, Samuelsson 39.8.
Did you see Yanni drop the weight? Did you think you might catch him right at the end?
Yeah, maybe. I saw he dropped it, but then again my grip was starting to give away as well, so I didn't dare to speed up, because if you speed up, your walk become kind of bouncy, and it's easy to drop then, so I just tried to hold the smooth base, and unfortunately he was quick on his feet again.
You think Sven and Hugo can beat your time?
Maybe not. I don't think so.
No.
Sven Karlsson. Well, Virtanen sounds pretty confident, doesn't he? But remember, it's still Phil. On the far side, Hugo Girard, lying in second place overall. But Girard, the Canadian, 3.5 points behind Karlsson, who's had a terrific start to this competition. Look at this, neck and neck. Who's going to make the turn first? Well, there's no difference between the two. Karlsson going wide, just as Samuelsson did a few moments ago. The shoulders drooping, the arms being torn out of their sockets, and the hands will be burning as well. The grip so important. They're on the last leg. Phil Pfister has certainly won this one. Look at the muscularity of Karlsson. Phenomenal. Oh, Girard's gone down, though. Karlsson, too. Well, this is going to add seconds, if not minutes, to this event. And Phil Pfister has certainly won it. Down in last place before this event, but moving up the leaderboard. Karlsson will finish down in about 5th or 6th place. 49.78, and what a disappointment for Hugo Girard. He just cannot lift those anymore. What a fantastic event, our third event, and it looks as though Karlsson will still be in the lead, but now only just.
You and Sven were racing for the first 2 lengths, weren't you? It was very close.
Yeah, I think that was very close until we dropped. And maybe I should have just let it rest a little bit more, make sure to put my hand at the right place, try to save the grip. What can you say? You know, you come here, you do your best, and you got a top man in the world, so for sure it won't be easy.
Well, Phil Pfister said in advance he'd walk away with that, and he did just that. But Yanni Virtanen, last year's world's strongest man, looking like a real contender once again. He's in second place now, just 1 point behind the leader, Sven Karlsson of Norway. And so, hundreds of feet above the River Zambezi, we reach event 4. Lift this giant log above your head as often as possible. It weighs a mere 120 kilos.
Well, we've said it in years gone by. This is about as close to a weightlifting competition in World's Strongest Man that you're going to see. And there is the very powerful and very popular figure of Wout Zilstra alongside Phil Pfister. Very simple. Lift it up and down to arm's length over your head as many times as you can in 75 seconds. The little jerk at the end there, your feet must stay still and you must be rock steady. Pfister One of the tallest men in the competition, alongside another big fella, Wout Zylstra. And I suppose you've got to say that could be a disadvantage. They've got to lift it further than everybody else for a start. You can see the scores at the bottom of the screen. Pfister 3, Zylstra 3. It really has been a fantastic crowd in the shadow of one of the greatest sights anywhere in the world, Victoria Falls. Level pegging at the moment. The Dutch champion against the American champion. Endurance plays a factor here. The little lift with the legs, rolling it up the chest. The shoulders will begin to burn like crazy once they get up to about 6 or 7 reps here. Most of these guys have got bigger arms than we've got legs. Absolutely massive, and Pfister drops it first, then Zylstra. Both men finished, and Phil Pfister just the advantage by 1. 7 repetitions for the American, 6 for the Dutchman. Competitors they might be, but they're good mates as well. Well done.
Have you set 7 as a target and just stopped?
No, I'd hope for at least 9, if not 10 or 11. So I'm disappointed.
Why is it harder than you expected?
This has been a very long contest, and nothing ever goes like you plan it. So can't take anything for granted.
Well, it was all too much for Räsänen. Just 3 repetitions for the Finn. Jaroslav Dymek, 5 repetitions for the Pole. And Martin Muir, the German's challenge evaporating in the heat. Just 4 repetitions. But what about Stumpy, the Barnsley Bulldog battling on with 6? Given the fact that you've done this more than anybody else has done, what is the secret of this?
Oh, log lift, of course, being strong in the shoulder is very important. You got to get a good rhythm and stick to the technique, and don't try to rush, because 1 minute 15 seconds, it's quite long when you're lifting 120 kilos log overhead.
That weight is about 17 stones above the head as many times as possible. Absolutely phenomenal. Girard is lying in 4th place overall, 3 points behind his nearest rival, Magnus Samuelsson. Oh, I'm convinced Samuelsson is the biggest we've ever seen him. About 22 stones, 6 feet 5.5. Girard is smaller but heavier. Oh, that was so fast. That is phenomenal lifting by Girard, but he's going to have to watch out with the balance side of things as well. Samuelsson 2, Girard 3. That is so easy. Now, if you've got a big refrigerator, packed it full of food, you've got some idea of the weight of this log. And Girard at the moment is making it look simple. Samuelsson a little bit rocky. Girard, massive in every part of his chest, his arms and his biceps. Girard is still ahead and goes ahead of Phil Pfister. Samuelsson draws level with the American. So these guys in 1st and 2nd place at the moment, but still Janne Vertinen and Sven Karlsson to come. Terrific effort by Girard. The old lactic acid beginning to kick in, and these guys don't like that. They're not built for endurance. Girard, is he going to get 11? Only just, yes. Dougie Edmonds has called it a good lift. Girard finishes on 11. Samuelsson 10. That is terrific stuff from both men. Girard has been looking at his hand very closely. I wonder if he's got a problem.
Fantastic, well done, Hugo. But at a price, how much is that hurting?
I'm done. There's no way else I can keep going with the other event with a hand like that. I start feeling the grip was going at the 9th rep. So that's why I kind of slow down and just stay 1 ahead of Magnus. And then I was feeling the blood going all over the handle. So
Are you going to stop?
I see. I talked with the doctor, and one step at a time.
I'll make a private bet he will not stop. I'm sure he won't, but that surely is going to cramp his style. The last two competitors, Janne Virtanen on the left, Sven Karlsson on the right. Away we go. Karlsson the first to strike. Janne Virtanen, one of the tallest men in the competition. Oh, Sven Karlsson is just pressing those out. 24 points Karlsson has at the moment, 1 point ahead of the defending champion. This is hotting up into a fantastic competition. Virtanen draws level with Karlsson. Karlsson a little bit off balance there. A little roll up the chest. I must admit, it looks as though Virtanen is struggling. But then again, he's done 4 repetitions, and that is pretty good. Phil Pfister on 7 in 3rd place. Girard on 11 in 1st, and Samuelsson, of course, on 10 in 2nd. Karlsson, a real hiccup in the last event. Needs good points here to stay in the lead. He's drawn level with the American, Phil Pfister. Both men looking very, very tired. Virtanen can't quite lock it out. Neither can Karlsson, but he has drawn level with Pfister. Virtanen struggling. Oh, they've run out of time anyway. What a fascinating competition. No tactics. It was flat out all the way. Virtanen finishes on 6, Karlsson 7, and it's victory for Canada and Hugo Girard.
Well, a fantastic result for Hugo Girard, but at what cost? You've seen what state his hand was in. And a good effort by Samuelsson, who doesn't even like that event. And the net result of all that was that the top 4 men are now divided by just 4 points. With 3 events to go, the rest are just about out of it. You are 3 points behind Sven, with 3 events to go.
Nothing. I can't win.
Do you think now, with 3 events to go, it is a 3-horse race? Janne, you and Magnus?
It's going to be very tough to see who got second half, Magnus and Janne. Because the first place is mine. If I have to walk forever in that Conan circle and lift them stones in 20 seconds, I will, if that's what it takes.
And so, with the leaderboard intriguingly close, we come to a new event for World's Strongest Man, the vertical lift. That 285-kilogram weight to be pulled to the top of this tower as quickly as possible. Now, a strong back is essential here, but more than anything else, it's all about the grip. So you could say the destiny of the title lies in the hands of the leaders.
Take your position.
Martin Muir of Germany. A real surprise package in the heats where he performed absolutely superbly. And Juha Räsänen, I'm sure,
Martin,
destined to be Finland's strongest man one day, and who knows beyond that. So here we go. It's a head-to-head race. The clock will determine the winner. 285 kilograms rocketing up on that rope. Grit, determination, and massive power in the arms. Räsänen's going well. Martin Muir as well. Oh, it's close. I think Räsänen just got it. Yes, he did. 14.39. Martin Muir, 15.66. Good effort from the Finn. Perhaps his best performance so far.
Do you think anybody can beat your time?
I hope not. I hope, because I need a lot of points. Because I have a bad, very bad event, log lift and the squat, and I need a lot of points if I want to top 5.
Hugo Girard, now how on earth is he going to do this event? His hand is an absolute state. The skin off the calluses through months and months and years of training have just shredded off his hand. And blood and a lot of pain as well. Up against Janne Virtanen. And his teammate, Räsänen, 14.39. Well, can anybody beat that? Virtanen going well. Hugo Girard is struggling. It must be the hand. Virtanen trying everything to beat Rassinen's time. He's got it! Oh, fantastic! The clock stopped at 14 seconds. It's actually 13.27. Yanni Virtanen goes into the lead, but could this event be Hugo Girard's undoing? It could well be. In fourth place overall, but is this the beginning of the end for the giant Canadian? I'm not even sure he's going to finish this one. Over 40 seconds, it must be absolute agony. He does finish. A valiant finish by Hugo Girard, 44.2. Oh my goodness. But what a fantastic time by Virtanen. Brilliant.
Happy?
Very happy. Because yesterday my luck is shit. Now I'm fighting again.
Do you think Sven or Magnus can beat that time?
Maybe not. No way.
I think Yanni Virtanen is hoping they won't beat him. But Magnus Samuelsson, well, we used to call him Mr. Consistency. He's been anything but that this year. Been up and down like a yo-yo, which is exactly what this event is all about. Sven Karlsson on the near side here.
Are you ready?
The overall leader by 2 points from Samuelsson.
Magnus, ready?
Yeah. This should be Magnus Samuelsson's best event so far, but he's struggling already. I don't believe this. This is another dip in the form of Magnus Samuelsson. Karlsson is well ahead, and Virtanen has won it. Karlsson stops the clock, 14.11. Good points again in second place. Samuelsson is going to be absolutely gutted with that. He's way off the mark at 20.32. Karlsson looking fantastic, and he knew how important it was to beat Magnus Samuelsson in that event.
Was that an event that you thought you might come third, fourth, fifth, something?
Yes. But the weight surprised me. It was way easier than I thought. And I possible to beat Magnus. So I'm so happy now. Janne got 1 point on me. The closest one to me was Magnus, so hallelujah.
Bad mood?
No, not really. I mean, I've been in this for so many years. I won my share of competitions. Of course, I'm pushing for it in this one as well until it's over. You know, but of course, deep inside, I'm not really pleased with that performance. The power is there. It's not a. Just have to. Did a few mistakes this competition. It costed me dearly.
Virtanen determined to hang on to his title, winning the vertical lift, but the big shock there was Samuelsson coming sixth. And so, with just 2 events to go, it's Karlsson or Virtanen for the title, Samuelsson slipping away, a brave effort by the Canadian.
To me, it's been a good year. I came here. I think I've done well in the first 4 events. It's just too bad, you know. To do well in that competition, you need to be in good shape and to have a bit of luck. So it seems like I'm running out of luck every year.
Well, we're heading down to the wire. The pool. Just 2 events to go. The Boulder holder. 300 kilograms of rock to be picked up and carried as far as possible around this circle. Now, many of you at home will know exactly what it's like to pick up a young child in your arms and carry them upstairs to bed. Well, this is the equivalent of carrying this lot.
And so an awesome prospect in store for Martin Muir of Germany. But we saw in the heats when it came to lifting and carrying, this man was absolutely superb. So this may be his chance to make a real mark on this final. He's way off the points at the moment, only 22 in comparison to the leader Sven Karlsson on 40.5. Well, it was 300 kilograms in the heats. The organisers, believe it or not, have just stuck a couple more kilos in that basket to make it a little harder, as if it wasn't bad enough already. The temperature soaring way above the 40s once more. But Martin Muir in the spotlight now. Going well, it's 27 metres around each turn. 2 revolutions and a bit more. Absolutely super by Martin Moore. Hanging on desperately, it's down. 70.3 for the German. A terrific performance, 83 meters in the heats, but remember, it was heavier this time round.
It's always better when you come last and you can see the mark from the other guys. It's always better than when you're beginning and the other guys can look for you.
Phil Pfister of the United States, 28 points in total. In the top 5. The American said in the heats, one day he will be the strongest man in the world. Well, I'm not sure he can do it this year, but another man who's got a lot to prove here. The pressure on the arms is unbelievable. Even that initial lift. The back got to work incredibly hard. Here we go. Tries to get it as high on the chest as possible. Count the number of revolutions. 0.3 leads it. That means that he's got to get 3 times round to go into the lead. There's number 1. Breathing heavily. You can't blame him for that. Leaning back into it a little bit just to keep the balance right. Coming up to number 2. Good effort by the American. Certainly the best American competitor we've actually seen over the last few years. Can he make 3? The crowd absolutely going berserk for this man. He goes into the lead. Over 80 meters. Fantastic from Phil Pfister. And that is the sort of form he showed in the heats. He's back on form, going well.
So what is it that drove you on for that 3rd, 4th time round?
Haven't been beaten at this event in quite a while. I'd like to be able to make that statement at the end of the day.
Magnus Samuelsson. Well, the last couple of events for this man, it's all gone wrong. I think the only chance he's got of making an impression on the leaders, Virtanen and Carlsen, is to win the last 2 events. If any man can, he can. Even the first lift is very difficult. Oh, he's gone down.
20 seconds to go.
No, he's all right. Saying it's okay, you've got 20 seconds to go. That is incredible. It really has gone topsy-turvy for Magnus Samuelsson in this year's final. Well, he's away. Now then, the distances to go for. 85 meters by Pfister. Incredible. Fantastic was Martin Moore at 70. Can he approach either of those 2? He's got to get 10 points here, otherwise I fear it's all over. He won't be on top of the rostrum for the 2nd time in his career. He's only just approaching 60. Oh, it's agony for the Swede. Absolute agony. It's finished, 60.4 meters. Well, the writing is on the wall for Magnus Samuelsson now. Just over 60 meters.
After the pickup, I felt straight away that there was no power in me. I just tried to hang in there as long as I could. Unfortunately, it was not my day today. But we will see what the other guys do.
It's hot for them too.
Oh yeah, it's not that easy.
Jani Virtanen, at the moment Sven Carlsen's nearest rival. This guy's got it all to lose. Until the last event, he is still the world's strongest man from last year, of course. But at the moment, 4.5 points behind the Norwegian. Phenomenal targets have been set by these guys year after year after year. The standard is getting better and better. Phil Pfister, the American, has laid down his mark of 85. Certainly going to move up the leaderboard after this one. Virtanen chasing. 1.5 times round now. Coming up to 2. That's over 54 meters. Some people have been calling this guy this year the blonde bombshell. He's certainly got that hair a bit lighter since last year. His body weight has got heavier and he is struggling. He's just over twice round and that is it. And I wonder if that is it in terms of defence of his title. Only 55.4 metres. And I'll tell you what, one man who's going to be relieved at that is Sven Carlsen.
My legs is gone.
No power.
No power. No power anymore.
Let's see what happens. Then this left, last one. Let's see.
You just get the feeling that Jani Virtanen knows he's lost his title.
Sven Karlsson.
And I wonder if it's going to go to Norway for the first time. Sven Karlsson, he knows he's just got to beat Jani Virtanen here to extend his lead over the Finn.
Take your position.
Loose. Little bit of a puff and a blow there. He doesn't have to chase 85 metres by Pfister or even 70 metres by Martin Muir. I think he's got sufficient a cushion over those two guys going into the last event. But he must beat Virtanen. Twice round and a little bit more would do it for Sven Karlsson. So what sort of Viking power has he got left now? These guys are beginning to tire. The toils of the heats and the final beginning to show. Karlsson looking at the mark of Virtanen, and he's gone past it. He has gone past it. So big points again for the Norwegian, 61.6. Oh, fantastic stuff. One event left, and we may well be looking at the new world's strongest man. 48.5 points he's got now. That's 5.5 past anybody else. Surely he's the champion this time around.
Yes!
You've almost won.
We are close now. Very close. It's not over, but it's going to take a lot to take this away from me now. Really a lot. I almost fainted during the first two steps, but on the second lap, starting to get energy back. It's so hot here. It's awful. But the Viking came through, I hope. At least I'm very, very, very happy for today.
Are you almost the world's strongest man?
Wait till after the stones tomorrow before we celebrate anything. It looks very, very good right now.
Consistent scoring is the name of the game here. Phil Pfister won that event, but he had one or two bad ones earlier on. Sven Karlsson, on the other hand, always in the top three. And so, with just one event to go, he's 5.5 points clear with one hand on the trophy. Well, what a location to win the biggest prize in strongman sport. On the banks of the Zambezi, time for just one last Herculean effort. Grieg, Amundsen, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Aha! If Sven Karlsson manages to lift this fifth giant Atlas stone onto this wall to be crowned the world's strongest man, he'll join a small and very select band of famous Norwegians.
Well, how about this as a climax to World's Strongest Man? Neither of these two men, I feel, have got a chance of lifting the title. But we've got Phil Pfister, the giant American who now holds the world record for this event, up against Magnus Samuelsson, a former champion. Two brilliant competitors.
Champion, Magnus Samuelsson.
The Atlas Stones record could go this time around, and more importantly for Magnus here, he could actually move into second place overall if he does 5 in around about 30 seconds. But it's Pfister who gets away first. Samuelsson is flying. Oh, brilliant. That's 2 up, well inside the target time. Samuelsson is going like a train. This is phenomenal. Everybody watching the clock. This is fantastic. The last one, 165 kilos, 25 stones. He's done it. The first man ever to go under 30 seconds. And that could have improved his place, improved his prize money, and improved his pride. Phil Pfister came through strongly in the second half of the overall competition. A very fine performance by the American, but what a performance by this man.
But that was a fantastic way to finish.
Yeah,
I like to go out with the Swedish flag high. Because for me and Sven and Jan and some other guys, we are so equal when it comes to pure strength. So the guy with the best luck or the guy with the less mistake will win. And I think Sven will win this. And he deserved it. He had a fantastic competition. He's been good the whole year. And sometimes you just have to accept that. Congratulations to Sven.
Next year?
It's always next year.
Well, this is the moment that Sven Karlsson has been waiting for. We reckon if he does 4 stones in around about 33 seconds, he's done it. Jani Virtanen, I feel, about to lose his title. What is it about these Scandinavians? Absolutely incredible performers. And it's Scandinavia all the way. Sven Karlsson, he was a former world record holder of this event. He hasn't got off to the best start. He's seen his record absolutely destroyed by Samuelsson. Virtanen fighting every inch of the way. He's still the world's strongest man, but I fear only for a few seconds longer. Karlsson, easy. 2 more to go. He's just got to get 1 more stone up. We're watching Virtanen, but any moment now we'll see the new world's strongest man. There it goes. It's inside the target time. He's done it. Virtanen has lost his title. Karlsson going for number 5. The cream on top of the jam. He doesn't have to do it, but I think he wanted to do it. Any moment now. Well, the stone's not going to go up on the wall, but he is. Yoke, a former world's strongest man, gives him a little pat on the head and says, my friend, you've done it. You've done it. 3rd 2 years ago. 2nd last year, now the champion.
So Magnus Samuelsson going out like a champion at least, with a world record in the Atlas Stones. Sven Karlsson doing just enough in 6th place. And what it means, as Paul Dickinson described so vividly there, is the Norwegian is the world's strongest man.
53.5 points.
Disappointment in the end for Jani Virtanen. Magnus, his set, he's been first, second and third now.
The world's strongest man for 2001 from Norway, Sven Karlsson.
Well, 5 years earlier, Sven Karlsson had been leading the way in the competition in Las Vegas, only to be injured. He came back 2 years after 3rd place, was 2nd in Sun City, and now the moment of triumph for the man who's immensely popular amongst all his fellow competitors. And he's finally achieved what he always thought was his destiny. And so Karlsson adds his name to the Roll of Honour in a sport dominated in recent years by Scandinavians. So how much does this mean to you?
It's except for my son being born and meet my girlfriend, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I spent so many thousands of hours training, tried to reach the top. I was very close in powerlifting, I was very close in bodybuilding as an amateur, and now I'm finally the strongest man of the world, and for me that's probably the greatest title there is to get. So, and now I'm just one happy Viking.